Right, divide complex numbers. Make sure you watch the previous video to this one, the complex conjugate numbers, or complex conjugate numbers. You don't watch that video, this will make this will be a little more confusing. So the problem with what we have here is our denominator cannot have an imaginary number in it. So we need to move that imaginary number out of there. To do that, we are going to multiply by the conjugate. So if you worked on the last video, we're going to look at our denominator. First off, make sure that our number is written appropriately, which has our real number first, then our imaginary number second, which it is done that way. Now let's find our conjugate. Our conjugate of -4 minus 3i is -4 plus 3i. And we're going to multiply that by itself over itself. Because remember, x over x is equal to 1. Any number over itself is equal to 1. So this whole thing right here equals 1. So it's not changing the number. It is just rewriting it differently. And we're going to rewrite it in a way that does not have an imaginary number in the denominator. So we have two different multiplication problems here. We have the top and the bottom. I'm going to do the bottom first so you can see why we're doing all of this. So we have -4 minus 3i times -4 plus 3i. So we make a box, -4 minus 3i, -4 plus 3i. Now we're going to multiply into the box. We have -4 times -4. Two negatives make a positive, and 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have -4 times -3i. -4 times -3 is positive 12i. And then the I, obviously. So positive number, 12 and I. Now 3i times -4i becomes -12i. So 3 times -4 is -12 and our single I. And then finally, positive 3i times -3i. 3 times -3 is -9. And then 1i times another I gives us I squared. Now this is where something happens. If you notice in these two boxes, they are like numbers and they are also opposite signs. So they cancel out. So our regular i's are gone. What we have left is an I squared. And if you remember, all I squareds are equal to -1. So -9 times -1 is what this box becomes, which is now positive 9. Negative times negative is a positive. 9 times 1 is 9. So we have 9, add to 16, and we get 25 from 9 plus 16. So our i's have disappeared in our denominator, which was the goal. So I'm going to actually erase all this work and do the numerator now. So our denominator is 25. Okay, so we know our bottom is now 25, and our top is now going to be a multiplication of -6 plus 8i. And then our conjugate of -4 minus 3i was -4 plus 3i. And we do the math again. -4 times -6 is positive 24. -4 times 8i is -32i. -6 times 3 is -18i. And then finally, 3i times 8i gives us 24i squared. Our numerator, the i's will not cancel out, but there is one thing we can do, is this I squared becomes a -1. So we get 24 times -1, which is equal to -24. Now let's add like numbers. Okay, coincidentally, this number and this number actually did cancel out. That will not always happen. It did happen here. And then finally, -18i minus 32i. So I made a mistake, actually. From this video, I kept going and I added wrong. So if you remember that what just disappeared was my work, we had negative 18i minus, terrible numbers, 32i. That's our numerator. That's going to equal negative 50. In the video I made a second, I added wrong. And our denominator is 25. And so negative 50 over 25, that can simplify to negative 2. They both divide by 25. So 50 divided by 25 is 2, and 25 over 25 is 1. So negative 2i will be our answer, not what's in there. Negative 2i. There we go. Okay, so I am not going to go through this whole problem, but I will get it set up and allow you all to do the rest of the work. So first thing we want to look at is the denominator and see if it's written appropriately. It is. The I is the second number. The next, what we want to do is figure out what the conjugate is. The conjugate is negative 3 plus 2i, because that's the opposite of negative. So negative 3 plus 2i. So you have two multiplication problems, a numerator and a denominator. And actually, I'll try and get it done real fast. I'm going to go faster on this one. So we'll have two different multiplication problems. This will be the numerator. Negative 9 minus 6i. That's a 9. Sometimes this pen doesn't work very well. And then negative 3 plus 2i. All right, so do the math. Negative 3 times negative 9 is positive 27. Negative 3, negative 6 is positive 18 with an I. Negative 9 and 2 is 18. Oh, negative actually. Negative with an I. And then finally 2i and negative 6 is negative 12i squared. Remember, the 12i squared becomes positive 12. These are the I squared. Now we have 27 plus 12, which is 39. Do not do the math wrong this time. So our top number is 39 plus it's 18, and that's a negative 18. Those cancel out, which does not always happen. Is that right? Making sure my math is right. Yeah, those canceled out. So our numerator is just 39. Now let's do our numerator. Negative 3 minus 2i, negative 3 plus 2i. And this is where the i's should cancel out also. Okay, the numerator cancel out, but that was just by coincidence, not by design. We get positive 9. Then we get positive 6i, negative 6i. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4i squared. And by design, two things are going to happen. This cancels out with this, and then this is going to change. Negative 4 times I squared turns into positive 4. So we get 9 plus 4. Which is 13. And then we can simplify 39 over 13. That equals 3. So our answer on this question is just 3. Got it right. All right, I'm done.